When I come out to a piece of property, I get excited for a couple reasons. One, I get to look at it from almost as a consumer of the product, and I start to think what I could do with the property. You like every property you see, because I can envision myself owning a piece of every property I see. So when I get out there, I start to envision with my brain where I would put my house, or where I put my stable, or where I would run my cows, or what the water source is that would feed my cows. The first thing I start to do is put myself in the mind of the consumer or the rancher or the person that's going to own that and figure out where I would start developing my own little piece of Texas.
Hi, my name is Broderick Norman. I run the GTA Group. We market land in the triangle between Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Austin. And then we also have Black Knight Cattle Company, which is a ranch that runs Angus-based and Limousin cattle, and that's based in Poto, Oklahoma.
I think the weirdest request is when someone says, hey, I want to have cows, and they have a smaller tract or a 10-acre tract.
So Landkey, Texas is a real estate company. We basically buy, develop, and sell rural land. We started because my love of land. So when I was a kid, I always wanted to have a ranch of myself. We couldn't afford it. I raised show cattle, and I had to give up that dream when I went to undergrad at West Point because that was a military school. So I did a couple things. I worked on Wall Street. I ran a trading company, but eventually I always wanted to come back to land.
And as you know, in most places in Texas that we develop, you typically run 1 cow to 3 acres. So if you're buying a 10-acre tract and you're putting a house there, you may have 1 or 2 cows. And I don't think you have the big spread or the big range of cattle or horses that you would typically comprehend.
My first entrepreneurial venture was as a kid raising cattle. So as a kid, I scrambled at Houston. I caught a calf. I also had the grand champion steer at our local show, and I did livestock judging as well. We're second in the state of Texas in livestock judging. After grad school and after working on Wall Street, I decided to start a trading company where we manage money for clients and trade in the currency markets. We essentially operated in an alternative investment space, raising capital, and that really helped when I pivoted eventually to real estate because I was already comfortable with explaining to individuals how to gain alpha in the currency markets, and now we're going to do that in the land markets. And it was easy for me to take some of my current lenders that I had in the wholesale and rehab side and convert them to partners because they understood that, one, I know how to analyze and manage risk, and from my business development experience, I wouldn't get into anything that I really couldn't get out of. So that's how those skills really translated.
A smart move for someone to invest in their own slice of heaven. I think the first thing is to take action. Interest rates are high right now, and we're all dissecting that and digesting that in the economy. But truly, you see different things in the economy and action in land markets that let you know that as we become overwhelmed with interest rates, prices will ultimately be higher as we come out of this.
I think the biggest thing is just some inefficiencies in the land markets that you don't see in other markets because they're highly visible and highly liquid traded. If you look about the average farmer is getting older. The average land or lot size is going down as land prices increase. And there's a void of people knowing how to deal with the land markets. If you think about homes and home financing, those things are a lot more backed by government loans and the knowledge is a lot deeper. But when you talk about land, there's a lot of things that people don't understand. They don't understand agriculture exemptions. They don't understand how to put in fencing, how to put in driveways, a lot of those things. So if we can help with that and deliver them a product that's bite-sized that people can handle, we found that a lot of people really want that.
So the thing that really strikes me is the people that pause or delay the buying decision. And I almost hasten and I almost regret that, in the future years, that piece of property they want is going to be without, out of their reach. So my biggest thing is the pause or the halting as we have a lot of different macroeconomic drivers, and it'll cause people to not make that decision to get the piece of property that they want.
One of the things we always say, and this comes from Silicon Valley, is they can copy our strategy, but they can't copy our culture. So what really separates us is our culture. I think it's how we treat people, and sometimes, quite frankly, we struggle with executing that in this market, but it's how we treat people, how we value our clients, how we value what we do. And really, I love the product and I love delivering to other people, and I think that comes across in how we execute. So our core values are tact, trust, accountability, creativity, and teamwork. And if you look about how that permeates our organization, how that permeates who we operate with, how they permeate our vendors, that's what separates us as a company.
When you talk about the biggest challenges, I think one of the bigger challenges we faced was building our first county road. And the reason being is we'd never done it before. We'd never done engineering, we'd never done a soil test. Matter of fact, we didn't even know that was a requirement. And then having that dedicated into the county inventory and seeing that road actually take the name of my daughter was really exciting, specifically because there's some low-lying parts on the property that we had to come in and move water flow and create some water features, which was something that we're still learning and watching that come to life and see how it looks afterwards. A couple people have joked that it's the nicest road in the county because the specs are so high to any new inventory that they added. So that's one of the really challenges that I really enjoyed about this business and about this project in particular.
We deliver a best-in-class product, like our fencing, our driveways, our culverts. We go the extra step because one, when I drive down that street, I don't want to have guys that go, look, this guy sold that, or it's messed up. Even in instances where we found that we can make improvements, for example, staining, the little things, I think they provide incremental better value. So if you talk about the product, I think that sets us apart. You typically see our fencing and our driveways and the quality of what we do and go, that looks like something that Landkey did, and that looks like a product that one of my agents sold.
The process is, I think, twofold, right? Or it takes two different avenues. On the one, I experienced a lot of loss in 2021, like a lot of people. So initially, I named a lot of our projects after family members that had passed. I think also when I did this subdivision, I was able to name it after my daughter. It's called Brea Bend, and the road's called Brea Bend, and that provided a lot of joy. We also like to take, as we move forward and name our subdivisions after something prominent in the community or something the community is known for. And that way we feel like we leave a lasting legacy after we're gone.
This comes from a client, right? And this is someone we help seller finance a piece of property to. They put their mobile on, and I want to talk to her and I go, what do you think? What do we do? And she goes, you help make dreams happen. And so at the end of the day, that's what we want to stand for, is help make dreams happen. And that comes from a lot of places. So we have investors, and that is providing a long-term solution for their financial security, helping make dreams happen. We have individuals who buy land, and that's where they have their quinceañeras, their cookouts, their family unions. That's helping make dreams happen. So at the end of the day, we want to be known as helping make dreams happen or making dreams happen.